I want you to picture something for a second. You are sitting in your car, your hands are gripping the steering wheel, maybe a little too tightly, and your knuckles are turning white.
Oh, I can feel the stress already.
Right. You are just staring through the windshield at this endless, totally unmoving sea of red brake lights.
Yeah.
And you've been stuck in this traffic so long, well, it's become completely soul-crushing.
Absolutely.
It's so utterly paralyzing that it genuinely feels like the city's arteries are completely clogged.
Yeah.
You can actually feel your own blood pressure rising with every passing agonizing minute.
We have definitely all been there. It is like the universal modern
It
frustration.
really is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you have ever driven through the notorious Highway 20 funnel in the Dorval sector of Montreal, you know firsthand that this isn't just your standard Tuesday morning rush hour annoyance.
No, not at all.
This is a historic, decades-old bottleneck that quite literally suffocates an entire metropolitan region.
It is a textbook example of systemic urban gridlock. I mean, when you look at the historical data for this corridor, you realize it's the kind of traffic that doesn't just ruin a commute. It acts as a massive physical barrier.
Yeah, it just stops everything.
Exactly. It stifles regional economic growth, it fractures local communities by essentially cutting them in half, and it creates a highly localized chronic environmental crisis just from the sheer volume of idling engines.
And that immense challenge is the mission of our deep dive today. We are going to dissect the massive multi-hundred-million-dollar urban surgery that is currently taking place to finally cure this historical bottleneck.
It's a huge undertaking.
Massive. And we are pulling our insights today from some incredibly comprehensive reports detailing the integration of the REM, that's the new light rail network, and the Highway 20 decongestion efforts.
Right.
These reports, specifically sourced from wikiresidents.ca and infodrone.ca, they basically lay out the entire blueprint of what is happening on the ground and 40 meters under the ground right now.
Which is wild to think about.
It is. Okay, let's unpack this because this is way bigger than just a city deciding to pave a few new lanes to ease the morning drive.
Oh, far bigger and much more complex. What we are looking at here is a highly sophisticated dual approach.
Right.
Urban planners learned the hard way that you cannot just pour new asphalt, add a lane, and expect a miracle.
Yeah, that never works.
No, it doesn't. We have to talk about the physical roads, yes. But this project relies heavily on a combination of massive behavioral change driven by public transit paired with highly surgical infrastructure modernization.
Okay.
It's essentially a 1-2 punch designed to save an economically vital corridor that is, well, currently choking on its own success.
To really appreciate the cure, though, we have to deeply understand the disease. So let's look at the diagnosis of this Highway 20 funnel.
Let's do it.
The numbers from the reports are just staggering. We are talking about a specific corridor that absorbs anywhere between 150,000 to 300,000 vehicles every single day.
Yeah, depending on the exact segment you are analyzing.
Exactly. Every single day.
The sheer volume is intense, but the geography of where those vehicles are traveling makes it infinitely worse.
Oh, the bottleneck is real.
It is. The highway is completely squeezed by immovable natural and man-made barriers. On one side, you have the massive body of water that is Lake St. Louis.
Right.
And on the other side, you have the sprawling, heavily secured footprint of the Montreal Trudeau International Airport, or YUL.
So they literally can't build outwards.
There is literally no room to expand outward. The corridor is trapped in this permanent physical vice grip.
So they are geographically trapped with 250,000 cars a day. But it's not just the volume or the geographic squeeze that makes it so bad.
No.
The reports highlight that this traffic is a highly complex, almost toxic hybrid mix of drivers.
Yes. The mix is the real issue.
You have heavy trucking fleets serving the adjacent industrial parks.
Yeah.
You have West Island commuters desperately trying to get to and from downtown offices.
Yeah.
And then you have this constant erratic flow of international travelers trying to catch flights or, navigate home from the airport in rental cars.
Which is a nightmare.
Honestly, reading through the data, it sounds like trying to force a raging river, a freight train, and a holiday parade all through a single garden hose.
That garden hose analogy perfectly captures the physics of what is happening on the pavement.
It's just a mess.
The specific mix of vehicles is the root cause of the chronic saturation. I mean, think about the psychology and the physical reality of those different drivers sharing the exact same constrained space.
Okay.
You have massive logistics trucks pulling 40 tons of cargo. They need vast amounts of time and space to accelerate, and more importantly, to brake.
Wait, they can't just stop on a dime.
Exactly. And next to them, you have local commuters who know every single pothole, who treat the highway like a racetrack because they are just trying to get home.
And then throw in a panicked tourist staring at a GPS screen on their phone, who suddenly realizes they need to merge across 3 lanes of active traffic right now to catch a flight to Paris.
Precisely. It's chaos. When you combine those wildly different speeds, conflicting destinations, and vastly different vehicle sizes with aging infrastructure, I mean, road geometry that was designed in a completely different era for a fraction of the traffic, the system just becomes incredibly brittle.
It just snaps.
It creates what traffic engineers call phantom traffic jams.
Oh, I hate those.
Right. That panicked tourist slams on their brakes to merge. The commuter behind them brakes harder.
And the truck behind them.
The massive truck behind them has to come to a complete stop.
I know.
And that braking wave travels backward like a shockwave for 2 miles.
That is insane.
One minor hesitation, let alone a fender bender, and the entire regional network cascades into failure.
Which brings us to the first massive intervention. If the area is geographically squeezed between a lake and an airport, and we know that simply adding another lane doesn't work, what do we do?
Right.
And actually, I want to pause on that for a second because it's a counterintuitive concept for a lot of people. If traffic is bad, why wouldn't widening the highway fix it?
It's a great question. It comes down to a well-documented phenomenon called induced demand.
Induced demand.
Yeah. If a city spends $1 billion to add a lane to a congested highway, driving temporarily gets faster.
Okay, sounds good so far.
But that new speed acts as an advertisement. It convinces all the people who were previously taking the bus or carpooling or traveling at off-peak hours to start driving alone during rush hour again.
Oh, I see.
Within a year or two, that brand new massive highway is just as gridlocked as the old one. You just have more cars sitting in it.
So you're right back where you started.
Exactly. You cannot build your way out of congestion with asphalt.
So the city needs a massive modal shift.
Yeah.
Like a fundamental change in how human beings choose to travel. Enter the REM, the Réseau, Express, Metropolitan.
If you cannot build out, you have to offer a parallel system that bypasses the traffic entirely.
And the scale of this bypass is unbelievable. The sources detail the new REM airport station, which is a $600 million project on its own.
Massive investment.
It's being funded by a massive coalition. You've got the federal government, the provincial government, the Canada Infrastructure Bank, and ADM, the airport authority.
Everyone is chipping in.
Right. And they are building this station 40 meters underground, carving it out so it connects directly to the airport terminal.
40 meters down. It's an engineering marvel, really.
Once it is fully operational, it's expected to handle up to 7 million passengers annually.
Wow.
That includes travelers, obviously, but a huge portion of that is the thousands of people who actually work at the airport hub every day.
Yeah, the employees need to get there, too.
And it promises a predictable 20-minute trip straight from downtown Montreal, completely independent of whatever nightmare is happening on the roads above.
Like I said, an engineering marvel, carving out that cavern beneath an active international airport, but its true value is as a logistical game changer for the entire region's mobility.
I have to push back here, though, on behalf of anyone who absolutely loves the comfort of their own car.
Fair enough.
I read those numbers, 7 million passengers, and I wonder, are thousands of people really going to leave their personal vehicles at home?
It's the big question.
Like, are they going to ditch the convenience of a taxi or a ride share that drops them right at the curb just because there's a new train? Human beings are incredibly stubborn creatures of habit.
Very stubborn.
Getting someone to permanently change their daily commute routine is famously difficult.
It is incredibly difficult, and that skepticism is exactly why public transit often struggles in North America. But what's fascinating here is the data coming out of the mobility simulator concepts detailed in the reports.
Okay.
The secret weapon of the REM isn't just that it's a shiny new automated train, it's the mechanism of delivery.
What do you mean?
The ultimate traffic cure isn't capacity, it's frequency.
Tell me more about that. How does frequency change the stubbornness of a driver?
At full capacity during peak hours, this train departs every 2.5 minutes.
Every 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's barely enough time to buy a coffee on the platform.
And that specific number, anything under about 5 minutes, is the psychological tipping point for human behavior.
Really?
Yeah. When a train comes every 2.5 minutes, you no longer need to look at a schedule. You never experience that gut-wrenching anxiety of, if I miss this specific train, I'll be 30 minutes late and miss my flight.
Oh, that makes total sense. You just show up.
You just walk up to the platform knowing a train is practically already there. The public transit alternative suddenly becomes unequivocally faster and more reliable than driving.
Wow.
It removes the stress of navigating traffic, the exorbitant cost of airport parking, and the complete unpredictability of accidents in the A20 funnel.
Yeah, taking the guesswork out of it.
When the transit alternative becomes that frictionless, it doesn't just politely encourage people to take the train, it actively forces a natural behavioral shift. The logical, selfish choice is no longer the car.
I see. If you eliminate the waiting, you eliminate the primary friction point that keeps people in their cars. The schedule dies, and convenience wins.
Exactly.
But reading through the reports, it's explicitly clear that the train alone isn't a magic wand for the Highway 20 funnel. Even if millions of people take the RM, we still have a massive problem.
We do.
If I am a logistics manager shipping freight, I cannot put a pallet of industrial goods on a passenger train.
No, you can't.
Those massive 18-wheelers still need the asphalt. The local residents still need the asphalt.
Which is why the infrastructure cannot simply be abandoned in favor of transit. The physical roads themselves desperately need modernization to accommodate the traffic that cannot shift to the train, specifically separating local neighborhood traffic from heavy destination traffic.
And that brings us to the actual physical surgery on the roads. The scale of this modernization is immense.
It's massive.
The reports outline active works that involve entirely rebuilding the concrete slabs of major overpasses, modernizing the interchanges, and totally optimizing the exit and entrance ramps that connect the A20 to the local Dorval network and the airport.
Right.
I want to dig into that word optimizing because it sounds like corporate jargon.
Yeah.
How does changing a ramp actually cure traffic?
It comes back to the physics of that hybrid traffic we discussed earlier. Older highway ramps were often built with very short merging lanes.
Oh, the worst.
Right. If you have a 40-ton truck trying to enter a highway where cars are moving at 100 kilometers an hour, and that truck only has a few hundred feet to accelerate, it's impossible.
Yeah, they just kind of inch out there.
The truck merges slowly, forcing the highway traffic to slam on the brakes, creating that 2-mile shockwave.
So how do you fix it?
Optimizing an interchange means physically lengthening those acceleration lanes, changing the geometry of the curves so vehicles maintain speed, and separating the lanes so that a driver going to the airport doesn't have to crisscross with the driver trying to get to the industrial park. You are physically removing the conflict points.
That makes perfect sense. It's untangling the knots. And doing that requires a massive coordinated effort.
Ooh, a huge coordination.
You have the MTMD, the Provincial Ministry of Transport and Sustainable Mobility, acting as the main orchestrator. They have to work directly with the Airport Authority, ADM, and the city of Dorval.
Just getting them in a room is a feat.
Right. The logistics of just getting all those different bureaucratic entities to agree on a blueprint is a monumental task, let alone the physical construction, which is being handled by major public tenders awarded to massive Quebec consortiums.
Big players.
Like Pomerleau, EBC, and Construction Roxborough. We're seeing budget envelopes for just the asset maintenance and redesign of these approaches exceeding $150 million over recent MTMD financial years.
The financial gravity is immense, but the logistical timeline is what truly makes this an impressive feat of urban engineering.
Oh, absolutely. If you were to drive through this corridor right now, in August 2026, you'd be right in the thick of it.
Yeah, construction everywhere.
The active construction seasons for 2026 and 2027 are in full swing.
Yeah.
They're aiming to sync all of this highway modernization up with the completion of the REM station for a fully refreshed intermodal network by 2028.
It's an aggressive timeline.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Doing this level of heavy construction, pouring concrete, extending ramps, on an active highway that still has to carry well over 100,000 cars a day.
It's crazy.
It's like performing open-heart surgery while the patient is actively running a marathon. You cannot just shut the highway down for a year to fix it.
No, you can't. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to understand why the planning has to be so precise. The physical roadworks are primarily carried out at night or during highly targeted, meticulously planned weekend closures.
Just to keep things moving during the day.
Exactly. Why? Because you simply cannot paralyze the metropolitan supply chain. For the logistics companies and the heavy industries relying on the adjacent industrial parks, every single minute their trucks lose sitting in the Dorval funnel destroys their profitability.
Time is money.
Exactly. Streamlining the approach to the airport isn't just about making local commuters happy. It guarantees a reliable economic engine. It consolidates the attractiveness of the entire region.
Right.
If trucks can't get in and out efficiently, businesses eventually pack up and leave.
The economic ripple effect is vital. But I was looking at the Les Jardins Dorval redevelopment in the reports, and it struck me that this isn't just a transport or logistics project, it's a real estate and community project.
Oh, 100%.
This entire massive investment, the $600 million underground train, the $150 million above-ground roadworks, it translates directly to the daily reality of the people living there.
It reshapes their world.
So what does this all mean for the actual residents? If I live in Dorval and I just want to go to the local grocery store or take my kids to the sports complex, how does untangling this highway actually change my neighborhood?
It changes the fundamental fabric of your neighborhood primarily through a mechanism urban planners call TOD, or transit-oriented development.
Good. Let's break that down. What does TOD actually look like on the ground for a resident?
Well, when you introduce a highly reliable, high-frequency transit hub like the REM, and you simultaneously untangle the congested highway next to it, the land surrounding that hub instantly becomes incredibly valuable.
Because everyone wants to be near it.
Exactly. Future buyers, businesses, and developers demand clear traffic routes and easy transit access. So what you start to see is the transformation of dead space.
Like what?
Massive heat-generating service parking lots get upzoned and transformed into mixed-use residential and commercial buildings. You see greening initiatives taking the place of asphalt.
Oh, that's great.
And the property values of the existing homes are protected and stimulated because the area is suddenly highly accessible without being constantly choked by the noise and pollution of idling cars.
The reports also point to a massive, immediate social impact regarding how traffic flows through the town itself. For years, the congestion on the A20 was so uniquely terrible that motorists would desperately exit the highway just to keep moving.
Yeah, the rat running.
Exactly. They would use the quiet residential streets of Dorval as bypass routes, a practice known as rat running. Imagine living on a quiet, tree-lined street, and suddenly you have heavy international airport traffic, angry commuters and delivery vans cutting through your neighborhood at 60 kilometers an hour just to avoid a traffic jam on the main highway.
It completely shatters the peace and safety of a community. Children can't play outside, the noise is constant.
It's awful.
But by improving the capacity and, more importantly, the fluidity of the actual highway, you naturally keep the highway traffic on the highway. You physically restore the quiet to the residential neighborhoods.
They don't need to exit anymore.
Right. And add in the new technologically advanced quieter road surfaces being laid down, the secure overpasses, the better signage, it all directly reduces noise pollution and greenhouse gas emissions right in the backyards of the people who live there.
It's literally mending an urban fabric that was historically fractured by this giant concrete scar. The locals finally get their town back. They can drive to the local store without fighting a panicked tourist trying to catch a flight to Paris or a 40-ton truck trying to make a delivery.
This raises an important question that cities all over the world are grappling with, Who are our city streets actually built for?
Good question.
For decades, Dorval was treated primarily as a pass-through zone. It was a place you had to endure to get somewhere else, sacrificing the quality of life of its residents for regional mobility.
Just driving right through it.
But this project, this specific combination of high-frequency transit and surgical road reconfiguration, transitions Dorval. It changes it from a fractured, car-dominated pass-through city into a highly interconnected destination in its own right. It proves that you can prioritize the human beings living in a space just as much as the logistics supply chain that runs through it.
It is an incredibly powerful transformation, and it requires attacking the problem from both sides.
Right.
To quickly recap the journey we've taken on this deep dive, we looked at a decades-old urban wound, the Highway 20 funnel.
Right.
A place where immovable geography and a toxic hybrid of truck, commuter, and tourist traffic created a daily nightmare. And we explored how the region is finally healing it, not by falling into the trap of just pouring more concrete and inducing more demand, but by combining a high-frequency 2.5-minute underground rail line with highly surgical above-ground infrastructure repairs that respect the physics of how vehicles actually move.
It's a brilliant two-pronged attack to reclaim the city.
It really is. And it serves as a reminder that the infrastructure beneath our tires and under our feet, quietly but completely, dictates the stress, the speed, and the overall quality of our daily lives. We barely notice the design of our cities until it's broken, but when it is fixed thoughtfully, it changes everything about how we live.
It really does reshape our daily reality, and I think exploring this massive undertaking leaves us with something quite profound to consider. If introducing a 20-minute train that arrives every 2.5 minutes can so radically alter the landscape, the economy, and the community of a heavily industrialized, intensely car-centric bottleneck like Dorval, what other untouchable urban scars in our own cities could be completely healed simply by giving people a genuinely better, faster alternative to driving?
That is something to think about. Next time you are gripping that steering wheel, staring at an endless sea of red brake lights, you might just find yourself wishing for a train to come along and cure the traffic. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you for watching this video. For more news and in-depth reports, visit wikiresidence.ca. All our content is available in text and audio formats across all your devices. Please feel free to share your comments with us.